Hey, Max here, and I have a hot topic for you in this episode, and it's about Star Wars, and it's about some of our favorite characters. But I do want to get to the disclaimer because, warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, and strong opinions. And let's check any politics and racism at the door. Let's just have fun speculating about Star Wars. Also, this contains massive spoilers for The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, and, if I'm right, potentially Episode 9. At least some minor spoilers. So, let's get on with it. Okay, I want to talk about some of our favorite characters. Luke, Han, and Leia. Well, we know what happened to Han, and we know what happened to Luke, and what's going to happen to Leia in Episode 9. So, this is going to be about Star Wars Episode 9. What is Disney actually really doing to original trilogy characters? Is it for story purposes? Is there something else going on? I know the belief is that it's for a bold new direction, but this is going to examine, in this hot topic, if there's some other reasons they're doing these things to our favorite characters. I do also have some questions for you. And this is one of the major plot points in The Last Jedi. And I want to hear from I like responding to comments. I appreciate all you viewers. So, if you want to talk to me about this in the comments, I'll do my best to respond. But, was Luke killed off for a bold new direction that fit the story? A way to limit the back-end deals Lucas signed actors to before the buyout? And I'm going to get to that in a second. Or, another possibility, and these are all rumors, okay? But it's fun to talk about. Kathleen Kennedy. She likes to fire people, especially ones that do not agree with her. So, we know Mark Hamill did not agree with her. And Mark Hamill is a great friend to George. One of the last people that really gets a strong influence from George. I'm pretty sure Mark and George talk about Star Wars all the time. They do not want that influence. So, maybe that's a possibility. This is a highly speculative and completely my opinion, but no matter what happened, even if Rian Johnson did not direct The Last Jedi, I don't like The Last Jedi. I don't like his direction. But, is it possible, no matter who they got to direct, that all of these characters would have been killed off anyway? We know Harrison Ford wanted to go. So, that was the easy one, Han Solo. I really believe, in my opinion, they did Luke Skywalker off in this episode because they want to deal. You can't have Luke Skywalker die and not do a Force Ghost in the next episode. Okay? I think Princess Leia was going to be in Episode 9, the one that was killed off. And then deal with the Force Ghost, and then you don't have to deal with these characters ever again. And that would have been his last appearance in a Star Wars movie. That's highly speculative, but I'm kind of leaning towards it. My opinion changes day to day, but I really think no matter what we did, what director we got, the people in charge at Disney want these characters to go. And the reason I'm feeling this way is there's some articles way back when the buyout first happened, and George leaked a little bit. He was actively going to make this trilogy, and then he decided, for whatever reason, maybe Kathleen Kennedy, maybe Bob Iger, he has a history with them, and he was thinking about his future. Keep in mind, I think at this time, he was like 68. Yes, 68. So 10 years of your life. Well, he would have given 10 years. We're getting about 5 or 6 from Disney. But he would have given 10 years of his life, maybe the last 10 years of his life, 10 to 15, for this final trilogy. He wanted to keep the legacy going. He wanted to keep it going for the fans, for himself, for his family, and for the community. There's a lot of people that gained employment from Star Wars at Lucasfilm, Skywalker Sound. He kept all that going by making this deal. But he did leak something out right before the buyout happened, and here's from an article. George Lucas may have just stolen the thunder from his lead stars. The Star Wars creator accidentally revealed in an interview with Bloomberg Businessweek that Harrison Ford, Han Solo, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia, and Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, have already signed on for Star Wars Episode 7. We had already signed Mark and Carrie and Harrison, or we were pretty much in the final stages of negotiation. So I called to them and say, look, this is what is going on. Okay, I don't need to go into the rest of those quotes, but that's the point here. They were already in the contract work, so what Disney has to deal with now is the contracts that George put in place. And maybe he really took care of his friends. I mean, these are his friends too. Maybe he did a nice contract. Disney wants what it wants. Maybe it's not happy with the contract. Right before the making of this episode of Hot Topic, I thought about something else. There's a lot of, if you search YouTube, there are a ton of videos of George saying, the money is in the toys. Okay, now we know about Disney buying Lucasfilm and Star Wars. But we don't know is all the little fine details of this contract. If you really believe Lucas is smart with the toy side of the business, he probably retains some of that. So, another reason that Disney wants to kill off these iconic characters in this trilogy is they want the new characters' toys to sell better than the original. If you have Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi on the toy shelf and you have a new character, Kylo Ren, well, Kylo's cool, we gotta admit that. But what are you gonna go for? They want to eliminate the competition on the toy shelf. Maybe there's something in the contract that says that George still retains something off products sold from those characters. Also, in this day and age, there's a lot of back-end deals for major actors on major films. They get back-end deals. Like if the movie makes a lot of money, they get more money themselves. And I also think that's not really what Disney wants. Disney does some quality things. I have a lot of problems with them myself. But they want their money. They don't like contracts like this. And that's, in my opinion, I think this is a major reason we're getting these characters killed off one by one. I kind of think we're not going to see Leia again. I think it's going to be in the opening crawl. I really want to know what you guys think of this. Oh, here's where we get recent contracts in Hollywood are all about percentage points and actors making money on the back end of the film. If George signed these 3 actors, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, before the transition into Disney, and their contracts are as is, and they needed to keep it as is to make the deal, I think that could be a major reason. And let's talk about Leia. They couldn't do unfortunately when Carrie Fisher passed away. I really don't think they wanted to do Luke and Leia in the same film. And if my theory is correct, they need at least one movie for Luke to be a Force ghost. So I really think that's why they did it. Maybe Mark Hamill was so surprised that they did it now because they're like, we can't kill them both off in episode 9. We got to do it because we're going to have to deal with Leia. So maybe they digitally entered that last scene of Luke vanishing on the island at the last moment so they can work all this out and get all the characters. Also, the Super Leia scene. It's to distract you from some other awesome Star Wars characters floating out into space that are never given their due goodbye send-off. So I think that they're not going to even deal with it. They wouldn't want to recast her because then fans are going to be like, well, why won't you continue her on? Maybe there's something in there that only if Carrie Fisher plays Leia, though, that maybe her contract was with if only Carrie Fisher plays Leia. So maybe they will. I just don't think that they want any of these characters to go on, and I think it's for monetary gain, not competing with these awesome characters. They want their new ones to sell. I don't think it's for story. I think there's a deeper, unfortunately, darker reason for killing off these characters so fast. Also, very unlikely we will see Lando. Now, I would love to be wrong about seeing Lando in Episode 9, but it's much easier to sign new actors to Disney contracts with big stars in their eyes. I got a Disney contract, I'm going to be in Star Wars. Then to work out and negotiate a deal for an actor that maybe one of their final roles. I'm not saying he's Billy D. Williams going to pass away or anything, but he's not doing a lot of acting. I've seen him every once in a while, and he knows there's a demand for him, so he's probably going to demand those back-end percentage points. These actors, they know we want to see them. I don't blame them, but Disney doesn't want to deal with that, honestly. So I really don't think we're going to see Lando. I think George did his best, and he underestimated. He also is a big Disney fanboy himself. And these are people that he had relationships with, business and personal. So you can't go into a business relationship thinking that's going to help. They shut him down quick. And I think he did his best to make sure people were taken care of, his friends, along with his fans. But I think they're shutting it down quick, and they're getting rid of these characters. I personally really believe there's something in the toy sales, too. Because you make a lot of money on toys and merchandising for these characters. So, I know Fox, they recently acquired Fox, and that means the original trilogy characters. But something tells me smart George Lucas still's going to retain some of those toy rights. He knows about the toys. Alright, now we'll get to the shoutouts, and this shoutout goes to Joe Swanson, mainly because it's an interesting talking point is about the previous hot topic. No one can fire Kathleen Kennedy, she's a CEO, LOL, there's no one above her. I appreciate your comment, but I really have to disagree with you. Bob Iger, there's also stockholders, there's lots of reasons and lots of ways they could get rid of her, especially if it has negative spin when they were... The streaming's 2019 is one of the most important for Disney and Star Wars together. They're launching their streaming service. Star Wars is going to be a major draw of that with the live action. Episode 9's coming out. And then they're going to have to announce new movies. So, if it continues this negative, I think they're going to phase her out, as you know, in my previous episode. So, they could definitely get rid of her. And Bob Iger's the one to do it. Maybe he doesn't want to do it, but there's lots of reason he would need to. You can't have this uncertainty going into the next phase of Disney and Star Wars, and the streaming is it. They're banking big on streaming, obviously because of the Fox property acquisition. So that's just my thoughts. I'd like to know if you agree with me or if you do not. Please comment below. And finally, I would like to say I just like to talk about Star Wars. I like to talk about movies. I don't need you to follow me anywhere. All I really would like is you to join in the conversation. I have no Patreon, no other links. Just comment below. I'll try to respond. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next Hot Topic.